is score of m students of the class. Clear? So row 2 1 is basically this element. Clear? Score 2 1 is this element. So we'll store the item. If we store index an item like this, it means we want to store something somewhere here. Clear? Contains the 4 test score of second student. Clear? So second student and his 4 scores. So first row represents the score of first student, second row represents the score of second student, and so forth. So this is an example. Clear? This is an example where every row is representing the score of 4 subject of all the students. Clear? So similarly in this example, score 2 1, score 2 2, score 2 3, score 2 4 is actually the score of second student in all the 4 subjects. Clear? Contains the 4 test scores of second student. Clear? Student test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4. Clear? So this is how this array can be. Clear? This first column is dedicated to the serial number, and other 4 columns are for storing the score of all the students. Clear? Fine. So let A is a two-dimensional m into n array. First dimension of A contains the index set 1 to n. So this is 1 to here index array. So these are the rows. So first index shows the 1 to m. 1 to m is 25. Here the lower bound 1 is upper bound and upper bound m. Here, so this is the first dimension of m into 1 array. And the second dimension of A contains the index set 1 to n with lower bound 1 and upper bound. So it is from 1 to 85. It's from 1 to this way. Clear? Fine. Now these are the scores. These are the scores. This is 1 to n. This is alright. This is 25 because students are 25, but we don't know this number n because here it is dotted mark. Clear? So we don't know about the n in this figure. So 1 to n and 1 to clear? Fine. So these represents the columns with the lower bound 1 and upper bound n. The length of dimension is the number of integers in its index. Clear? So length of dimension is number of integers. For example, if there are 25, it means total 25 numbers are in this index. Clear? The pair of lengths m into n, read m by n, is called the size of the array. So size of the array is basically m into n. This is the total number of elements stored inside the array. Here, let me find the length of a given dimension, that is number of integers in its index, by obtained from the formula. So length is equal to upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. So this we already do. This we already do. So number of integers in means we are calculating here number of rows or number of columns. So what is the length of array or breadth of array? Here length or breadth, we can say length of array is basically upper bound minus lower bound, which is 25 minus 1 plus 1, total 25. Clear? So 25 rows are there. If you calculate from 1 to n, then we are calculating the number of columns. So we can also say the breadth of the array. Clear? Fine. Now representation of two-dimensional arrays in memory. Let A be two-dimensional m into n array. Now we know what is m, what is n. Although A is pictured as a rectangular array, elements with m rows and n columns. Clear? The array will be represented in memory by a block of m into n sequential memory location. This is important. This is what I have highlighted. Clear? So what it says that it's all right that m into n array is a rectangular array as we show, but in memory it will be represented by the product m into n number of elements in a sequential memory locations. Clear? Fine. If they are being stored in sequence, then how they sequenced? Now the question is, if if however if they are stored in the memory as a sequence, then what that sequence should be? So there are two sequences. One is column major order and other is row major order. Clear? So you have to, whenever you will find a problem of two-dimensional array, you will be given that it is a row major or column major order, or you will assume one of the orders. Clear? In general, we go with row major order. Clear? So the following figures shows these array two ways when A is a two-dimensional array. So this is a column major order. You can see, if you see this array, what should be the column major? It should be 1 1 2 1 3 1, then 1 2 2 2 3 2, 1 1 2 1 3 1, then 1 2 2 2 3 2. Clear? You got my point? So this is how column major array should be. Column major means we are going through the elements of the array in a column wise manner. First element of first column, then second element of second column, then third column. First column complete, then we go to the second column, and then so on. Clear? And if it is row major, how can we depict it in row major? It will be 1 1 1 2 1 3 and 1 4. Okay? You can see here. This is 1 1, then 1 2, then 1 3, and then 1 4, and then 2 1 2 2 2. Clear? So this is a row major. So this should be very clear that a multi-dimensional array is actually sequentially stored in the memory. Clear? Fine. Now recall that for a linear array LA, the computer does not keep track of address of location LAK for every element LAK of LA, but does keep track of base address. So computer always look for the base address of the array. Here it stores the base address, then calculate the any index value, any index address within the array. Clear? So this is the formula. Thus location of LAK means any element K in LA. Clear? Any element K in LA is equal to base LA. Clear? The base where it starts from plus W is the word length.
Okay.
Here, W is the number of words actually per elements 2. W is the number of words per elements 2. Here, for example, if this is a memory location of 1 byte, let us suppose this is a memory location of 1 byte, this and this. Here, and we are storing integers. An integer, how many bytes an integer gets? Integer gets 2 bytes to store. Okay? It means it will take these two locations to store element 1 1 in actual. Clear? So these are the W is the number of words, memory words per element. Clear? So if the first element is stored at location 0, then the second element will be stored at 2, and third element will be stored at location 6, and so on. Fine? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if there is any doubt, you can ask here. So I will not mind, but try, if someone else has asked, then don't repeat the same question. Uh, and now, this is for the linear array. This was for the linear array. That base L minus base LA plus W into K minus 1. K is the location for which we want to locate the base address, and minus 1. Because why minus 1? Because memory indexing starts from 0. Clear? And array indexing starts from 1. Clear? Fine. Uh, find the address of LAK, where W is the number of memory words. This is all written. We have explained it. A similar situation also holds for any two-dimensional m into n array. Now the number of elements are actually m into n. Clear? Here the number of elements were only n. Clear? Fine. But now the number of elements in array are equal to m into n. Okay. So these are the things you need to, whenever you will attempt such questions, you will have to make a see a view of or visualize how it will be stored in the memory. I tell you, these are the very simple questions, but very frequently they come into your entrance exams. Any further for GATE, for MTech, for PhD, whenever you apply somewhere, these are the basic questions which generally come, and people are not clear with it. Yeah, people know what is array, what is stack, what is memory, but they fail to visualize how it is stored in the memory, because memory is only linear. That is to be seen, and it is physical memory. We cannot change it. So this is important to know that how a particular data structure is stored inside the memory, and you need to visualize it. Clear? Whenever you solve the problem. Clear? So let us go further. A similar situation is m into n array. Clear? Now what is that is the computer keeps tracks of base A. Clear? So base A is the base address in the memory of array A. Clear? The address of the first element A11 of A, and computes the address of location AJK of AJ. Clear? Location, this is the address of the location, and this is the location. This is the element, this is the element, and this will be its location in the memory. Clear? Fine. This is the address of this location, this element of the array inside the memory. Clear? Now the formula for column and row major order. Clear? Now this is for column major. A location of AJK is equal to base address A. ये तो ऐड होना ही होना है ना, प्लस W into M into K minus 1 plus J minus. Clear? M into K minus 1 plus J minus. Fine? Is that fine? So obviously we are going by column, so K comes first. Clear? This will be the only difference between these two formulas. Rest is going to be the same. J and K are replaced. Clear? J and K are replaced. Now K are columns. K are the columns. Nothing to confuse. J is row, K is column. We always mention row first and then column. Clear? Fine. So this is these are the columns, because this is column major. So we multiply M into K minus 1, then plus J minus 5. So this will be the address. You can do one of the examples given, and also the assignment I gave you. Now you can try it further. Clear? So that was actually solved by Rajbir, and so many questions were there. But now I um, I hope you all will attempt it, because now we have discussed it. Clear? Attempt it, and if there are any queries, let me know. Okay? Let me know. Let your CR know, and then CR will message in the group, and we will discuss. Clear? Fine.
Okay, sir.
The formula of row major order is simply M replaces N replaces M, and J replaces K. Clear? Nothing rocket science is involved in this. Clear? So this is how we represent a two-dimensional array into the memory, and a three-dimensional array will just be the extension of a two-dimensional array, which is very hypothetical. We are not going to meet any three-dimensional arrays in any of the context. Clear?
Yes, sir.
This is this is one of the examples. You can go through it. Clear? Before going on to solving that problem, first solve this example. This is again, this exercise can be done by you. Clear? Just take a snapshot and check yourself. Clear? Just take a snapshot of this and check yourself how good you have become in what we have discussed so far. These are just fill in the blanks. You can discuss what are the operations, could perform with the linear data structure. Clear? So you can see, you can store marks, you can have anything. At maximum, an array can be a two-dimensional array. True or false? Anyone? At maximum, an array can be a two-dimensional array. Is it true or false?
True.
False, sir.
Hmm?
Sir, true.
False.
It is false. It is false. Clear?
False, sir.
Why? Why false? Because I have just explained that it can be a three-dimensional array. We have discussed
Three-dimensional
about
as
a
well.
multi-dimensional array. Clear? We have defined a multi-dimensional array. We a three-dimensional array, we have only row and columns. Clear? In a two-dimensional array. But in a three-dimensional array, we will have a depth. Clear? We can have a length, breadth, and depth. Clear? We can define like that. We can define x, y, or z. We have to mention the dimensions. Need not only be rows or columns. Fine?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, beta.
Sir, how can you show the depth of three-dimensional array?
Easy? इसमें क्या problem है? If it is a three-dimensional array, but a three-dimensional array you cannot show on your copy. Fine? You have to imagine it somewhere. Fine? Our
Yes, sir.
our copy page is only good enough to show the two dimensions because it is a planar figure. है ना? It is a planar.
Yes.
Plane is actually a paper basically. So if you want to show the third dimension, you have to assume it. So what it can be? It can be 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1. Then 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2. And whole this comes with 1. Then this whole will come with 2. And then this whole will come with 3. Clear? Fine? So this is how
Yes,
you
sir.
will represent a three-dimensional array. Nothing, no problem. That will be m into n into x, let us suppose. Clear? This is how you will represent a तरीका यही रहेगा. ठीक है? तरीका linear ही रहने वाला है. Store करने का तरीका. But I have already told you that you are going to, you are not going to come across any three-dimensional type of problem unless or until you are going to solve time space scientific problems kind of thing. Huh? Only there you need three-dimensional arrays. There you will also need a fourth dimensional, which Einstein has considered as time axis as well. Huh? This is perpendicular to all the three dimensions. Clear? So this idea is extendable. This idea is extendable. Fine? But our study will only limit it to the two-dimensional array. Rather, your book has just given a short glimpse of a multi-dimensional array and nothing to discuss any further. Clear? In a linear array, the downward refers to what?
Locations with larger,
Hmm?
sir, locations with larger index,
Location.
larger subscript.
Fine. Fine. Locations with larger subscript. And upward refers to the other. You know? Then in dash, the elements of array are stored row wise. In a row major array, Hana? Here in a row major array. And in a column major, the elements are stored. Fine. So this is all about arrays, one-dimensional and multi-dimensional arrays, and then insertion, deletion, and if I ask you to perform these algorithms for a two-dimensional array rather, then what will be the difference? Here a loop will come inside, and rest is going to be the same. Here it will be a nested loop where for every j k to n minus 1 inside any other x from we will actually replace this j, otherwise it will confuse. Anna? Clear? Because now j and k are the dimensions. Fine? We are using for so a loop will come inside for if it is a row major, then this will be row and inside a loop for column. And if it is column major, then it will be column and inside a loop come for the rows. Clear? So this is all about the discussion of arrays and its operations. Now we'll do our discussion to other operations performed on arrays, that is linear search algorithm. So linear search is the we will perform searching operation for nearly all the data structures. Clear? So next operation is linear search. So on array we perform two types of searches. One is linear search and other is binary search. Linear search we have already discussed actually. In discussing the complexity of algorithm, we have already discussed. Here, so what is linear search algorithm? Repeat for j 1 to n. So n is the number of elements in the array. If item is equal to aj, then print item found at location. Clear? J. Return end of. Clear? So if statement ends here. Clear? If statement ends here, and we are going to repeat this for I, j to n, other, and it will return if item is found at any location. Clear? And otherwise it will return when it reaches when j is greater than n. Clear? So if j is greater than n, then print item does not exist. We also call the search has failed. Right? How linear search works? There is hardly anything to discuss in it. This is very simple algorithm. It starts here, first it matches here, then it matches here, then it matches here, and when it reaches here, it will stop. Okay, this is an array of 11 elements, and we have to find the 25. We have to find the 25. Okay? So obviously it will return with no value. It will stop here, and this will end in an unsuccessful search. Here, complexity of linear search we have already discussed. Here, so worst case is n if it is the last element or it is not available. Here, rather it will be actually n plus 1. Worst case will be actually n plus 1 because it will go on one location ahead. Right? So, and average case is n. Average case is it has wrongly inserted. Average case will be n by 2. Clear? Average it has written over here. Clear? Average case is n by 2, and best case is complexity is 1. We have found the first element. Then there is binary search. Binary search algorithm we will discuss in the next class. It is enough for today. We will discuss two algorithms in the next class, and then we will be finishing our syllabus of first unit. Clear? So first algorithm is binary search. We will discuss about it in this class. A binary search algorithm, what we do in binary search, we divide the binary search. First of all, binary search is performed only on sorted arrays. Clear? This is the prerequisite for performing binary search, that the elements of array should be in a sorted way, sorted manner, either in ascending or descending order. For simplicity, we take the ascending order. Clear? And we will go to the middle item of the array. We go to the middle item of the array. If it is equal to the given element search element, then it is a success and will come out of the algorithm. Otherwise, if it is not equal, then we'll see that whether this item is whether the search item is less than the middle item or it is greater than the middle item. Obviously, if it is greater than middle item, this search is going to be further in the lower half of the array, where all the elements are greater than the given item. And if it is the less than the middle item, if it is less than the middle element of the array, then obviously next search is to be performed in the upper half of the array. Here, so it means the comparisons, after first comparison, the number of elements to be searched in is reduced to, and then it means, let us suppose the item value is less than the middle item, then it means that the upper bound needs to be modified. Lower bound is remain to be the same, and upper bound is modified, and vice versa if the item is greater than the. Let us see how it has explained it. Searching a sorted collection of common tasks. A dictionary is a sorted list of word definitions. Clear? So given a word, one can find. So the simple example of binary search is dictionary. Clear? We go by if you see how you look for a word in dictionary, you are actually performing the binary search. Clear? Given a word, one can find its definition. The telephone book is sorted list of people names, addresses, and telephone numbers. Knowing someone's name allows one to quickly find the telephone number and address. Clear? So these are the examples of binary search. Clear? It has not shown the binary search here in this presentation. We'll discuss the binary search and bubble sort algorithm. These are the operations that are performed on array. Clear? And then we'll be finishing up our syllabus in the next class. So any questions from today's class? That's it. It's all from my side. And if you have anything to discuss, discuss. Yes, anyone? I hope everybody is okay with today's discussion, and there are any questions you can ask. Otherwise, mark your present, and that's all from my side. Thank you very much, and happy Independence Day to everyone in advance. Yeah. Okay, celebrate Independence
Same
Day.
to you, sir.
Thank you, Beta. Celebrate Independence Day, and I urge everyone to plant a tree here. In any near vicinity, plant a tree, and forget about it. It's uh, nourishing right now because this is the best time for plantation. As we know, this is rainy season, and if plant uh, uh, takes its roots, and then it will grow itself. Clear? So I urge everyone to plant a tree, and there are right now 90 people. If 90 trees can be planted tomorrow, that will be a great success for us. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.